Hey there, how's it going? Check this out. It's one of my favorite things to flash around. A $1 million bill. Now, making $1 million or more in real estate is very possible. I should know I did it. But I want to tell you a story about what to do with the money once you get it. Let me repeat, one of the biggest mistakes I've made in my life is what I did after I got the money, which is a common mistake that a lot of people make, especially real estate professionals who maybe were like me. You were young, had some success, but really didn't have the background on what to do with this stuff when you got it. So I made my first $1 million as a real estate agent in a year. I made my first $1 million in a year in 1996, the year my first daughter was born, Morgan. So I remember, well, a lot of milestones. Had your first kid, made your first $1 million. Let's see, I was 28 years old, I believe, when that happened. So now, I started in real estate bankrupt and homeless. Okay, so let's start there. Remember, I'm going to share with you some advice on what to do once you start making money. So when I got into real estate, when I started in 1989, 1990, when I got my license in that time frame and started this gig, I was 21 years old, 22 years old, right in that time frame, and I was coming off a failed business venture. I owed my grandmother 40 grand plus a ton of debt that I had accumulated from this Primo's Pizza franchise that I had started when I was 19. So you kind of know the story, right? I was a college dropout, dropped out of college, convinced my grandma to give me $40,000 to go open up a business. My dad kicked in another 10. I borrowed money on credit cards, got this Primo's Pizza franchise open. I was in business, new entrepreneur. I'm a business owner at the age of 19. By the time I was 21 years old, all the money was gone, and essentially expenses exceeded income. Not a good situation to be in. Had to file bankruptcy, had to flash sell my home. Okay, so my home, had to flash sell that thing. I had just gotten married to make matters worse. And fortunately, my father-in-law had a basement. So my wife and I moved into his basement with the crickets and the spiders. And that's where my real estate career began. Okay, so failure was already in place for me. I couldn't go any lower, right? It was in the basement. And but so I was very aggressive at trying to figure out how to make real estate work for me. And that led me to getting connected with the top real estate professionals in the world at that time. Okay, kind of know the story on there, right? With Craig Proctor. So I got connected with Craig way early on, and he was he had just become the number one Remax agent in the world, and so I get involved in his system, and I took it and I did a good job of implementing that system into my own real estate business. And before you know it, I'm making money. So I'm getting out of debt now, getting my grandmother paid back, and I'm getting square, and I'm able to get a house and kind of get my feet set back on the ground. But I want you to know, I woke up when I was probably in my early 30s, 33, 34, 35 years old. I woke up and I'm like, where's all my money? So let's think this through. So I made my first $1 million at age 28, and there was good years before that, like 700,000, 500,000, like before that. There was still good money coming in, especially at that time in history, back in the mid-90s. I mean, come on. That was a lot of money, and it still is. And when you fast forward, several years later, this is going on. I go from 1 million to 2 million to $3 million a year in revenue. And so I wake up one day, I'm like, I made a lot of money in this business, millions and millions and millions of dollars. Where is it? In other words, I hadn't reinvested the money. I had put it back into my business, and it continued to grow and serve my lifestyle well. But in terms of assets, I had my house. I think I had a piece of property that I bought up in Illinois. But outside of that, I didn't do a good job. So I waited too long to do something about it. So when we started our real estate company that you're a part of, when we started a real estate company, I said, look, I don't want other people to make this mistake that I did. When you implement the system that we have, you're going to sell more homes and you're going to make more money than you ever have in your entire life. That is our written guarantee for all real estate agents to come in. It is the best system in the real estate industry for real estate agents that want to grow their real estate business, sell more homes and make more money, even into a super profitable sales team, just like I did. Okay? It is the best system for it. So you are going to make a lot more money than you ever thought you would if you show up and implement the system that you're handed. Now, that's all good, isn't it? That's all really good. But let me tell you what could be really bad. Waking up 10 years later, making hundreds of thousands, millions and millions of dollars, and it's like, where is it? That wouldn't be good. So the reality of life is that we all get to a point, at some point in life, where we wish we had more money to take care of a loved one, okay? Family member that's not doing so well. Help a grandparent or a parent out, or a close friend, or how about this, your kid, college, whatever it might be. So as life goes on, so do the expenses and the investment opportunities to invest in others are. Maybe you want to give more to your church or whatever it is. So the reason we implemented a self-employed pension program at our real estate company was because I personally didn't want other real estate agents coming in, making a lot more money, and then waking up a decade later like, where is it all? Yeah, I don't want that to happen to you. I don't want it to happen to you to happen to me. So when we started this real estate company, we said, all right, why don't we do this? Let's put in place a self-employed pension system so that every single real estate agent who's going to sell more homes and make more money, more than they ever have before, they'll have a mechanism or a vehicle to take a portion of it at the close of sale, put it into the self-employed pension account, and leave it alone. Just let that money grow, okay? At the very least, do that. Because, listen, all real estate agents have the intention of, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make enough money to buy more real estate and do. I get it, but 88% of all real estate agents don't do it. Almost 100% say they are, but 88% never do. And then nobody thinks they're going to be part of the 88%. Okay, guess what? I was part of the 88% for a period of time until I woke up one day and says, I gotta fix this. Okay, so I would be millions and millions of dollars ahead right now as I'm recording this video if I had someone look me in the face and say, look, you're going to do really well with this system. So well, in fact, you're going to have excess. And I know that you're going to go and invest it in your lifestyle, buy a bigger home, buy a bigger car, take some cool trips around the world. And you know what? You should do that if that's what you want to do. But while you're doing that, take a portion of it, put it over here in this self-employed pension account. Tie it to some index funds and let that sucker go. Let it just go. You keep feeding it. And you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, hey, guess what I've got? I've had a great lifestyle. I've had a lot of fun. I've got a big house. I got big cars. I got whatever I want. And I got a lot of money in my managed accounts, in my self-employed pension. Okay? So you get to have both. So that's my advice to you. That is why we set up a self-employed pension system. It was because I didn't want other people to make the mistake that I did. All right, so let me recap on a summary. When you become a Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty professional, we're going to set you up with a self-employed pension account. And a SEP is tax deductible, so that means the government will essentially pay you via tax credits. They will pay you essentially to invest money into your retirement. Okay? Now, what does that tell you? The reason they incentivize people to do that is because their retirement plan, i.e. Social Security, is not so good. So you don't want to rely on that for your future, right? Plus, as a self-employed pension person, you're going to be trying to deduct every single thing that you possibly can that's legal and ethical. You're going to deduct all that stuff. So you're going to pay the minimum amount in Social Security anyway. So your benefits are going to be small when you get to 60, 65, and you want to start thinking about, doing something different or retiring. Everyone comes to an age where it's harder to get up every day and go like you did when you were in your 20s and 30s. I can assure you that day's going to come for you. All right? Even when you're in your 50s, like I'm in pretty good shape. I'm 55 as I'm recording this video, and I get up every day and I work out and I go hard. But I can tell you, I don't feel the same as I did when I was 35 years old or 30 years old or 28. Okay? So you lose a tick. You start to slow down a little bit, right? Plus, you have other obligations and responsibilities in life. The kids are growing. You got grandkids. You got family that's getting older. You want to take care of these people. So invest your money. Take a portion of your income, invest it into the self-employed pension account that has been set up for you as a Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty professional. Okay? It's very simple. It's the best advice I can give you. I'm going to give you a couple other practical pieces of advice here in this video. All right? But the purpose of the video is to tell my story and encourage you to take the advice of super successful people, people that have achieved what more than you want to. Only take business advice from people who have achieved what you most want to. All right, that's the number one rule in life. So I'm giving you some advice. So I've done a few $1 billion in sales volume, and the practical advice I'm giving you: don't make the mistakes that I made. I know how to generate a lot of income, but you want to have it. You want to put it to work. You want to keep a portion of your income and put it to work to earn more. Okay, and that is really easily done in the United States of America with index funds and a self-employed pension as a salesperson. All right, so you're given a SEP. Take a portion of your income from every closing. You decide what it is, but go ahead and decide up front so that it happens automatically at the brokerage level without you having to get involved. The money's going to come out of your quote, closing check, and it's going to be automatically deposited into your self-employed pension, and it's going to sit there, and the government's you're going to get a tax break for doing this, and you just keep putting it's yours. So if something changes here and you want to go do something else in life, heck, you want to join another real estate company, it's your SEP. You can take it with you. I just want to know that real estate agents that we had a time with, that we were associating with, that we did good by them by giving them really good advice on preparing for a financial secure future versus making the mistake that 88% of all real estate agents make, i.e. fail to plan for a retirement. Not that you ever plan to retire. I don't plan to retire, but somehow life has a way of forcing us into it sometimes, or creating other opportunities where we could help other people and we're just short on resources. Self-employed pension. Now you know why it exists. Okay? So here's some other advice. Now, you can invest in real estate if you want to. I own a lot of it. Okay? A bunch of it. Okay? And I like it. Okay? I like, quote, passive income, cash flow income, and I like investing in things that they ain't going away, like land and that sort of thing. Most of you guys know I've got a lot of land in the Midwest. So I like real estate. So here's some practical advice for you. Okay, I got this from Craig, my mentor. He said, look, when you're in your 20s, okay, buy one home a year. Buy a home, rent it out, buy another home, rent it out, buy another home. So imagine doing that. If you bought one home a year for 20 years, okay, you buy it for $500. 20 years later, it's paid off because you had it rented out the whole time and you reinvested the money into it. In 20 years, it's paid off. You bought it for $500, you sell it for $1 million. Might be the greatest retirement advice anyone could ever have. Okay, it's pretty good. So, and one home a year, one rental home a year, everybody can manage that, even if it goes empty for a month or two while you're trying to fill it up. It's not something you can't handle. All right, it's a really good way to create massive amounts of equity and retire on essentially $1 million or more a year, just by buying one rental property a year. Very simple strategy. So I think when you combine that with the self-employed pension, it's not a thing of like, I'm going to do one or the other. Don't do that to yourself. Recurring investment where you take a portion of your income from your income every time you get it. And you have it automatically done where it goes right into your self-employed pension, tied to a really good index fund with your self-employed pension account. Set it, forget it. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to miss the money that you invest. All right, so that's step one. Step two, yes, you can buy a home a year. All you need is a downstroke. Okay, down payment. You're going to have the excess capital with the system that you're implementing here. If you go all in, commit and do what it is we're giving you, this plan, this system, you're going to have it. You can go buy one home a year, but you got to commit to doing it. Okay, so creating a deadline to do that would be wise. All right, good. Now, third practical piece of advice while I've got your attention. Give some money away. All right, give some of it away. If you're going to invest in you and you're going to make money for you, give some of your money away to others. So included in our system, we partner with very worthy causes, like Give Kids the World charity, or Children's Healthcare Atlanta, if you're in that particular. Must Ministries, one of the premier nonprofits, ran by my friend Dr. Ike Reichert, right? So those are really great nonprofits. Take a portion of your income and do that. All right? Start with something, okay? This is an extra investment into the lives of other people. And if you do it on a recurring basis, like every time you have a commission check, you have a small portion of that, $100, $200, $300, just dedicate an amount of money, 1%, dedicate an amount of money of your earnings toward a worthy cause. Remember, those companies can take a dollar and stretch it a lot farther than you and I can because they use a lot of volunteer labor. So they can help change a lot of lives. Your money, that you would use to try to go change somebody's life versus giving it to one of these nonprofit charities and letting them put it to work, they can stretch it further. Okay, so you're going to be impacting a lot more people, partnering with, giving some of your money away to these worthy causes. So there you go. So let me summarize these three. Number one, self-employed pension. You've got a SEP account. We set you up with it. Invest money into it. And if you're putting money into it, you know what? The real estate company here, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, will do it too. Okay? So we'll match the money up to $100 as long as you're investing into your SEP and giving some money to a worthy cause. I believe that's part of our written agreements with everybody at these companies. If it's not, you let me know, and we'll make it work that way. All right? So, got it? Self-employed pension. Go invest in real estate by doing something simple, not crazy, something simple to get started, one home a year. All right? And number three, make sure you're giving it away. Okay, size of the hole that you give through is directly proportionate to the size of the hole that you receive through. So there's my three practical pieces of advice based on my own life circumstance. Okay, I want you to become everything that God put you on the planet to be. And we're pretty much the only ones that keep ourselves from becoming that. All right, so with that, go serve big. Thanks.